together for Minister Phillips.
Protocol has already been established. Let us pray. God, we thank you, we honor you, we adore you, Lord, for all the great things that you've done. God, I pray that you move me out of the way and have your way on tonight, Lord God. May hearts be encouraged, lives be uplifted, Lord God, and your glory be revealed in this place. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I certainly do honor God for this opportunity, and I'd like to recognize my husband, who's always so supportive. Let's get right into the word. Please turn your Bibles to 1 John chapter 3, verses 1 through 3. And for the sake of time, I'll read. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. The title of my message on tonight is, The Objects in the Mirror Are Closer Than They Appear. In the 1940s, many roads were only made up of 2 lanes going in opposite directions, so drivers only needed a limited view mirror to see the traffic directly behind them. Due to this, most vehicles came with a rear view mirror and only had a passenger side mirror as an option. But because of the far distance from the driver's eye to the passenger side mirror, a convex or curved mirror made somewhat like a fish's eye had to be used in order for the driver to get a full view of what he needed to see. But this type of mirror minifies the objects that it reflects, making things seem farther away than they actually are. Therefore, a convex mirror, or convex mirrors in many countries, are imprinted with this message: objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. This helps prevent drivers from doing things like changing lanes, assuming a vehicle is a safe distance away when it's actually closer than it looks. As we look at our text in the book of 1 John, which, as evidence shows, was a letter written by the Apostle John to churches in Asia Minor during a time when false teachers were on the rise and Christians were being persecuted. In chapter 1, John gives warning to believers against the indifference to morality and sin, like they didn't take it serious enough. Then in chapter 2, he gives counsel concerning loving the things of the world as opposed to loving the things of Christ, who sacrificed his life so that we could have an abundant life. Here we find our text in chapter 3, where John is now dealing with the importance of believers of Christ exhibiting pure and righteous love as God expects from his children who are made in his image. In the beginning of time, when God placed man and woman on this earth, he installed what I call a spiritual mirror. This mirror is meant for us to see ourselves in the reflection of God's image. But how many of you know images can become distorted at times? Just like when you look in a funny mirror at a fair, reflections can be changed from the original version or original form and subsequently present a false representation of the actual image. We know what we're supposed to look like. We're supposed to resemble our Father who is in heaven. We're supposed to have our Father's characteristics. And we're supposed to resemble his Son, Jesus Christ, loving unconditionally, giving ungrudgingly, and serving unselfishly. But then we get caught up in all kinds of sin, and then our images get all screwed up and just bent all out of proportion. From the disfiguring of Adam and Eve for being disobedient, to the blemishing of Abraham and Sarah for telling lies, to the defacing of David and Bathsheba for committing adultery and murder. Y'all do know she was an accomplice to that, right? Now, I can go on and on telling you about how some of our images have been blurred. How we start looking like the world, doing what we want to do, how we want to do it, talking about one another. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Beating each other down right here in the church is happening right around us. But as Paul said so many centuries ago, it still applies to all of us in some way today. When I go to do good, evil is always present. Y'all know. And it's still causing us to fall right now. Last night, a few minutes ago, adding all kinds of deformities to our predestined appearance and distorting our God-given image. But all glory be to God, because as the song goes, that's not how the story ends. St. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him shall not perish, but shall have everlasting life." How many of you are just grateful for the love and the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on tonight? For dying for our sins, for saving our souls, and giving us not one chance, not two chances, but overflow of chances. He gave us hope when he laid down his life on the cross for our sins, our blemishes. He cleansed us and made us whole. And let me tell you about the spiritual curved mirror effect that he implanted. He expanded our view to see all that he has in store for us. To see that even though that thing we've been reaching for may seem far away, or that work that we've been putting in and it seems we've been getting nowhere, he wants to give us a full view of everything that's within reach. And his supernatural imprint reads, "The objects in the mirror are closer than they appear." So as God continues to do this good work in us, we have to be prepared as our image transforms. First, by being clear of what image we're reflecting. You don't want the wrong images to appear in your mirror, do you? Here in verse 1, John says, "Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us." Another translation says, "graciously lavished on us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not." This is an honor, a privilege. You can't take it for granted. This is a blessing that we just have to be grateful and thankful for, and we just can't take it lightly. The world is not supposed to be able to relate to us. John 1:5 says, "And light shineth in darkness, and darkness comprehended it not." When you show up, the world is supposed to feel uncomfortable, or don't y'all know? When y'all go to work, people are supposed to know that you stand out. You don't look like everybody that you work with. You don't look like everybody that you hang over, that you see on the street. You're supposed to stand out and be different, unique, peculiar. So what image do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you look anything like your Father? Tell the truth. Reflecting his kindness, his gentleness, his patience, his faithfulness, his self-control. Do you see health, wealth, love, peace, and joy? We are children of God, and we need to look like it, act like it, walk like it, and talk like it. Think positively and speak victoriously. Be clear of what image you're supposed to be reflecting. People should look at you and want to know, who is your daddy? Next, we have to be clear of the destination that we're headed to. Verse 2 says, "And it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is." So many of us live in defeat, always feeling sorry for ourselves, stuck in the mistakes that we made or the mistakes that others made against us, blinded by reality and crippled by guilt and shame. We keep bumping into these blind spots that are blocking the work that God wants to do in us. Things happen and unforeseen circumstances are still occurring. We can't allow these situations to just make us crash and burn, because God has a divine destiny for our lives. Romans 8:14 says, "For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God." Be clear of the destination you're headed to, and let the Spirit of God lead you. Watch out for the vehicles that try to move into your lane and throw you off course. John tells us God has blessed us with a new birth, with full potential. He says we know that we shall be like God, shall be like Jesus when he appears. To know means to be aware of the truth or factuality of, and to be certain of. Your motivation should come from knowing that in spite of how things appear, I know where I'm going. I know where I want to be. I know where I want to end up. I was created in God's image. I might not be all the way there, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. Watch me. Stay focused on God and be clear of your destination. So now, as we've been made clear of the image that we're reflecting and the destination that we're headed to, now we have to be clear from all the impurities that darken our image. Verse 3 says, "And every man that hath this hope in him purified himself, even as he is pure." Even though the phrase cleanliness is next to godliness is not in the Bible for real, the message still presents the same message throughout the Bible. Picture going on a date with a man or a woman.
the man or woman of your dreams. You get all dressed up, you get a fresh do, nice cut, smelling all fresh and clean, got your cologne on, your perfume on. Ladies, you get your face beat, you know how they say it. Men, you gargle with that strong Listerine. Y'all meet up at the spot, and this person has the nerve to show up smelling like they just came out the gym and just put clothes on top of all of that mess. How would you feel if you did all that to prepare for them and they didn't value you enough to take a bath? Wow. So why would we do that to God? Be on alert, keep watching, stay woke, because no one knows the day nor the hour the Son of Man cometh. The time is now and the struggle is real. Paul said he had to beat his body into subjection. This is not an easy fight, but the victory is closer than it appears. Okay, so you may slip 3 times. Get up and go 10 more feet. You slip 2 times. Get up and go 20 more feet. Slip 1 time. Get up and keep going. Keep going. Run on and see what the end is going to be. Those of you who've been looking at life through this limited view mirror because of the mistakes you made in your past, still following you today. And times you don't always get it right. Nobody's perfect. But somebody ought to give God praise right now because how far He's brought you from and where you know that He's going to bring you to. Thank God for the situations He pulled us out of, for blessing us even at times when we didn't deserve it. He has so much in store for us. It's written in His Word. He has plans for us to prosper and to give us hope and a future. John chapter 3 sealed it with this spiritually imprinted message saying the objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Those images you thought were so far away, they're right here. Those changes you've been striving as you picked up your cross to follow Christ, I'm here to tell you, keep chasing, keep pressing, keep praying, keep serving, keep going after God. He sees you. He's watching your progress. He's still in control. He's got you covered. Keep moving. Be on notice. You're in the right lane and you're traveling in the right direction. You know who you are. You know who you should be. And you know what you must do. The image of God is staring right back at you. And be encouraged because the objects are closer than they appear. Amen. Didn't y'all enjoy that?